What is up, loves, and welcome back to ZSWFM, live and direct from the bed, my safe space, our safe space. I'm Lisa, and today I want to talk about something that's been echoing through me all week long. And that's a quote that landed during a mastermind. It's trust is movement. The moment I heard it, it was like a bell ringing, something so simple but so undeniable. And yet, how often do we wait until we feel trust before we move? How often do we stall, overthink, maybe freeze, telling ourselves, I'll start when I'm ready, or I'll start when I feel safe, or I'll rest when it's all handled? But here's the secret. You don't wait for trust to arrive before you move. The movement itself is the trust. Every step you take is a declaration. It's saying, I trust myself enough to try. I trust the universe enough to catch me. And I trust life enough to flow with it. So today, we're going to deep dive into this, essentially how to transmute old stagnant beliefs into blessings, and how to let joy become your reprogramming tool, and how it moves with trust even when you don't feel ready. So let's be real for a second. The mind, it's loud. And mine told me this week, when it comes to just the podcast and showing up in general, it said, you have nothing to say. Just give up. You're too late. And honestly, quite frankly, no one cares. And maybe your mind has its own playlist, the you're not enoughs, or you're always behind, or you'll never get it right. But these voices, they're not proof that you're broken, and they're not final verdicts. They're just old programs running on repeat, scripts we picked up from maybe society, family, trauma, burnout, capitalism, I don't know, take your pick. But here's the truth. When those thoughts show up, it doesn't mean stop. It means pause, witness, and then move. The thought itself is the invitation. So it's the universe saying, here's the exact place where trust is needed. That's the reframe. Every limiting belief that pops up isn't a dead end, it's raw energy waiting to be transmuted. So, in another masterclass I sat in this week, we did a clearing exercise that cracked me wide open. It wasn't about pushing the thoughts away, it was about reprogramming them. So, imagine your belief like a heavy stone you've been carrying for years, maybe even decades. And now, instead of trying to throw it in the ocean or pretend it doesn't exist, you place it on the ground and say, okay, what can grow from this? Or how do I turn this into fuel? That's transmutation. That's true alchemy. So let's practice. If the thought is, let's see, I'm always behind, that can be transmuted. So, like, the blessing might be, I move at the perfect rhythm for my life. My pace is my gift. Or if the thought is, I can't trust myself, the blessing becomes, every time I move, I build trust. And just to leave you guys with another one, it's if the thought is, I don't deserve joy until I've earned it, the blessing becomes, joy is medicine and I'm allowed to receive it now. Do you feel the difference? That shift is how we repattern the nervous system. That's how we turn stagnant beliefs into high frequency, into blessings, into movement. So here's what I know. Joy is not opposite of pain. Joy doesn't cancel out grief, exhaustion, stress. Joy coexists. It threads through the cracks. And honestly, that's the reprogramming we all need. We don't have to wait until everything is perfect, until every wound is healed, or until every goal is checked off. Joy isn't a reward, joy is fuel. So this week, instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Why am I still here? Or why can't I get it right? I want you to ask, where can I feel one joy point right now? It doesn't have to be big. It can be a warm cup of tea. It could be a laugh that bubbles up from nowhere, a song that hits your chest, or a stretch that feels good in your body. That's how joy transmutes. That's how joy reprograms, and that's how joy creates movement. So here's your creative activation for the week. I want you to choose one belief, just one, that's been maybe looping in your head. We're going to write it down, say it out loud, and bring it into the light. And then flip it. We're going to find the blessing. So ask yourself, if this belief was actually pointing me towards the medicine I need, what would it be saying? Maybe I don't finish anything becomes I am a beginner over and over again. My gift is renewal. Or maybe it's I'm not creative. And that becomes my entire life is creation. Every breath is proof. Mm. That's your work. That's your movement. And trust me, it is enough. So let's anchor this together with the nervous system reset. I invite you to close your eyes if you can, one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Take a slow inhale through your nose and a full exhale through your mouth. On the inhale, silently say, I trust. On the exhale, silently say, I move. Again, inhale, I trust. Exhale, I move. Keep breathing. Feel your chest soften, your shoulders drop, and your belly expand. Let your body memorize what trust feels like, not as an idea, but as a rhythm, as movement. I invite you to repeat after me if you'd like. I trust myself. I trust my timing. I trust my joy. I trust my movement. Let that sink into your nervous system, because this is how we reprogram, not just with thoughts, but with felt experiences. I invite you to come back to the room, wiggling any fingers, toes, stretching your arms out wide. Feel free to come back and anchor with this practice throughout your week whenever you may need. Yes. All right, loves. So as we move to close, I want you to remember this. You don't have to wait for trust to show up before you move. The movement itself is the trust. Let this week be about flipping the script. Let joy be your medicine, and let's trust carry you forward. And if this episode resonated, if you're ready to move deeper, I invite you into the Sacred Collective, where we practice these reprogramming tools together. Or if you feel called to support the bigger vision, check out our Manifesting ZSW campaign, Because we're not just making a podcast, we're building an ecosystem of relief, creativity, and liberation. So thank you for being here, and thank you for moving with me, and thank you for trusting yourself enough to listen. Until next time, remember, I trust, I move, and so do you.